We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, that to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed, that whenever any form of government becomes destructive to these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. Prudence indeed will dictate that governments long established should not be changed for light and transient causes, and accordingly all experience has shown that mankind are more disposed to suffer while evils are sufferable than to right themselves by abolishing the forms to which they are accustomed. But when a long train of abuses and usurpations, pursuing invariably to the same object, evinces a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty to throw off such government and to provide new guards for their future security. Words from our Declaration of Independence, and how relevant they seem to be right now, huh? We're at a crossroads, America. We are at a crossroads. Hey, what's happening, Jerry Plus, Trina, Stu, how are you? We got another J6 News update to chat here. We got all kinds of patriotic fights going on around the country, so let me just tip out a couple of things from Freedom Corner over the last couple of days. I know we had an awesome day out there the other day where that gal showed up with them flags, man. I still think that was the coolest thing ever, man. And man, I'd love to see more of this kind of thing happening down there, but I just thought that was awesome. This gal's name was Tammy. She showed up for the Esther day of prayer at the mall, and she just gave us all an awesome treat, waving those flags around. And then we had another fine group of patriots out there waving flags, singing God Bless the USA. And bringing us the message of standing up for the people that we feel have been trampled by this government, man. I think the main difference between the Declaration of Independence and where we are right now is that they were establishing a new government. Where right now in this day and age, we are restoring our government because it has gone off the rails with the method intended to provide those boundaries for life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness for our country. That's where we're different from the founding fathers, but we're kind of in the same boat, aren't we here? So yeah, man, that night was awesome. Stormtrooper put out a clip of just that segment when I think it was the Lion of Judah was the song that was on, and Baltimore Steve was just standing there waving a flag when the song started, but by the end of that song, man, there was people dancing, people waving flags. It was a really cool scene from Freedom Corner, man. I hope you all get to enjoy that. Go to Stormtrooper's little clip there, and it's only 5 minutes long, but man, it is, I thought, very, very uplifting for me, man. Saturday night, Dominic Box called in, and he had some good news. He had his 1512 charge dropped. So that's the charge that the Supreme Court said was not applicable to the J6 prosecutions, and it went back to appellate courts then. And in Dominic Box's case, it just totally got dropped. And I guess, he's got to wait and see what, if anything, they're going to replace that with, if he's going to face new charges and stuff. And then Brian Smith was another relevant phone call from Saturday night. He was definitely, he had a nice memorial for Ashley Babbitt in that phone call. But he also had a story about how there's this one guard that just can't stand him, man. And this one guard can cause so much trouble for people in that prison. And there's no reason for this guy to hate Brian Smith, and Brian has tried to apologize to this guard. Brian doesn't know why the guy hates him. But I don't know. I've experienced this in my life where there's people that they pick you out from a crowd and they just hate your guts. There's nothing that you ever did to them to make them hate your guts, but they just hate your guts, And this is it's something in this spiritual battle that's going on between good and evil, which really is what's going on. It isn't just saving our country and getting Trump elected. I mean, we're experiencing evil in unprecedented levels at high levels of government and every institution, basically. And there's people that just pick you out and they want to hate on you. So it's just one of the things that we got to learn how to deal with as we move forward day by day. Try not to let that breed hate in you, because that's the normal knee-jerk reaction is this person hates me, I'm going to hate them. But, it's just one of the lessons that we're learning. It's a couple of conversations I've had lately about this with other people or other patriots and stuff. It's just a weird thing to be dealing with. And Brian Smith was talking about that on Saturday night. And then there have been great vigils going on. It's hard to keep up with the vigils because there's so much Trump stuff going on, and a lot of times they're on at the same time. So I try to bop back and forth between them because I definitely want to stay up on what Trump is speaking about. There's also JD Vance events that are going on, but I'm trying to stay plugged into Freedom Corner just to make sure everything's happening there. Freedom Corner's still on a match your funds drive, match your donation drive until October 31st. They're getting very close to the $2,000 limit on that. So if you can do it, go to forashley.com and donate money for Mickey and Nicole to keep Freedom Corner going for another month or two here. We got to make it to the election, which is only 3 weeks away. I can't believe it is so close to being there, but I'll tell you what. The Vance, the misinformation is just spinning faster and faster and faster, man. And one of the main events that just happened over the weekend was this Coachella, California rally. Hold on. I think I got a sneeze. Okay. The Coachella, California rally was insane. There was some stuff that's going on. The news about it was, well, wait a second here. Diane Kelly, but nothing happens until January 20th. Wrong. Everything happens November 6th, and I'll explain later here why I say that. November 6th, this battle begins, okay? We're going to get Trump elected. I mean, there's no doubt about it. Kamala isn't winning anything. And he's going to get elected, but we'll see, man, what's happening. That the battle is going to begin on November 6th. But anyways, Coachella. First of all, there was 100,000 people in California to listen to Trump speak in a town that is owned or run by an anti-Trump person, okay? It was another Trump rally in a hostile place. There's been many of these now over the last season here. Oh, hello, Tammy Green, Eric the Actor. Yeah, baloney, Eric the actor. The sheriff has everything to do with this. The mayor's got a lot to do with this, and you'll find out, okay? Believe me, you're going to find out. Because this is normal. This is not a normal operation. This was all planned ahead of time, and it's meant to expose more evil. And it's coming out day by day. This information about Coachella is going to come out. Well, yeah, Diane, if everything happens, Diane says, well, Trump can't do anything until the day he takes office, right? Well, and that's normally how things are going, but this is not going to be a normal thing. We got Jamie Raskin, a senator, has already said that they're not going to certify the election if Trump wins. So there's going to be maneuvers that we're going to have to just keep up on, all right? I don't want to worry everybody, but just know that this battle, we don't all just take a vacation on November 6th. We're going to still be needed. We, the people, are still going to have to be around to back up Donald Trump to get him into office, man. So many different scenarios can play out. It's kind of hard to speculate on what could possibly happen, but something's going to happen. I mean, that's basically the method of operation of our enemy right now. They're going to pull something. They're going to pull lots of somethings between now and January 20th. Yeah, as president-elect, he can do stuff. That's true. So it remains to be seen. So it's almost a waste of time to talk about this stuff. But what I'm trying to say is that we got work ahead of us, okay? We've all been working very hard up until this point to get where we are with exposing the sham that J6 is, to get Donald Trump elected in office. And but we need to learn a lesson here at the same time, in that we got to that position where it was so bad because we were lazy, and we have to stay engaged in civic responsibilities, and that is voting, that is making sure our elected officials perform as they say they will perform. We need an honest election there, Eric. That's what we need. And we did not get one in 2020, and we still have not resolved those issues. Those issues are still being resolved. So the Coachella rally, first of all, I don't know what was up with who's running it, okay? But nobody could park at the Coachella rally. The parking was 5-6 miles away, and everybody had to get shuttle bussed into the rally, okay? Second thing, when you got to the parking areas there was no line to be formed there. So now you got a bunch of people pulling into parking lots, 3 different parking lots, by the way. And they didn't have like lines for that. So every time a bus would pull up, there were these like little stampedes up to the bus, all right? Now, I've gone to many Trump rallies, and Trump people are very orderly. You know, they're going to let like the old people get on the bus first, the handicapped people, they're going to give them, you know, nice ladies first. You know, that's the Trump people, right? Wasn't that way with this crowd, okay? And then the buses would drive you down to the venue. There were no security points in the parking lots, okay? And when they drove you down to the event, you had to walk another half a mile to get up to where the stage was set up and stuff. So this whole thing was just a bizarre setup. And then you went through security before you walked into the secure zone, okay? What did they call it? A security checkpoint, before you go through the security checkpoint, right? Now, there was other people who had VIP passes, and they were allowed to drive into an area that was much closer to that area, and they had security checkpoints as you drove your car in. So now this Trump assassin guy, who on mainstream media, they're just slashing this guy, he pulls in there and volunteers the information that he has some weapons in his car. And they search his car, and they find him, and the cops go ape shit on this guy. They tear his car apart. he ends up getting delayed for, 6 hours? And then all he's got is some, bogus, unconstitutional Second Amendment violation because he had some weapons in the car. He volunteered that information there. This information is trickling out, man. And I have never seen so much viral, comments in videos about this whole thing, the whole thing surrounding it. There is a lot of stuff that's blaming it on Trump, saying Trump didn't pay the people. He didn't set up security right. The mayor has nothing to do with it. The mayor has everything to do with it. So the sheriff in that town, he happens to be running for governor in California. So he's looking for a little, boost in the media and stuff. Yeah, Boomer, everything is weaponized, including Trump rallies at this point, right? Bottom of the ninth and bases are loaded. That's a great way to put it, Boomer. That's a great way to put it. So there's a whole big flap on this guy. Ven Miller is his name. Turns out he's very closely associated to some people that we know from Freedom Corner. He's very closely associated to the Bundy Ranch thing. This guy's been reporting on government bullshit for a long time. And his constitutional rights were just trampled by a deputy. So we don't know beyond that what's going on with the sheriff, because the sheriff got on TV and called this guy an assassin, which is definitely going to be in a lawsuit. And you just can't do that to people. You can't just get on there and say, this guy's a Trump assassin. So there's information going to be trickling out on this, but I believe that it is going to, in the end, reveal a whole nother slew of rats over there in California and another rhino Republican running for office in California, man. All you Republicans out in California are going to be wanting to get Gavin Newsom out of there. And your alternative is this sheriff guy. So I think a lot of stuff's going to come out about this sheriff guy. So just stay plugged in day by day as the information goes. Ven Miller is not in jail. Ven Miller did not have a $5,000 bail. He did not have phony IDs or a fake license plate on his car. And all that information that they came out with, they just made it up and went with this story, man. He's a friend of Don Jr. That's right, Tammy Green. And there's people vouching for him right now. And say Pete Santilli. He worked with Pete Santilli back at the Bundy Ranch thing. So now the reason that this is coming out is because there's something coming out about the Bundy Ranch ordeal that happened, 7 or 8 years ago. There's a new lawsuit being launched. So that could be one reason why this guy got media attention, is to bring attention to that. So this guy's news organization is called America Happens. And there's several reporters that report for that. We all know a gal named Corinne. She is one of the reporters at America Happens. But this Ven Miller guy has a lot of info about the Bundy Ranch scenario. And if you can remember back that far, there was a lot of weird stuff happened back there, you know. Well, you can trust the FBI and the U.S. Attorney's Office, you know. Go ahead, Eric. Go ahead. Trust them. The government, yeah, the government. Here we go. I got a meme for you, Eric. Oh, man, where did that meme go? There it is. Here, this is for you, Eric. Look at me. I don't believe conspiracy theories because my government loves me. That's what we're up against here, Eric. I don't know why you're here, Eric, actually. Okay, so another thing is the crowd control at this rally, man. The whole thing where they had to bus these people in. So then, at the end of the rally ends, there's only one gate out of that whole compound. 100,000 people were in this Trump rally, and there's one gate to leave the whole venue from, okay? Then you got to walk a half mile back to where the buses are going to pick you up. And then there was a whole fiasco where all of a sudden the buses weren't there. They had, I think I heard 60 buses running loops, 5-mile loops. They all had full tank of gas. They're all running loops back and forth, all right? You can fit 50, 60 people on a bus. There's like stampede scenarios going on with people leaving the Trump venue. There's people climbing the fences. There's people like saying weird statements around there about, oh, this is Trump's fault and he didn't pay the bus drivers, or they ran out of gas, or the mayor made this happen. I mean, there was all kinds of like instigator, provocateur things happening at this Trump rally. So when you go to a Trump rally or any type of a venue from now on, we just saw what happened at J6 at the Capitol, okay? We know that was provocateurs. That was people that came in disguised, live action role players as Trump people, and made a lot of that violence happen there. Same thing happened in Coachella. I'm convinced of it. I was not there. I talked to a couple people that were there, and judging from what they told me, this is what I'm believing is happening, or happened there and is happening elsewhere. I went to a rally in Philadelphia for Trump, and everything was great, man. People stood in line. Nobody was jumping fences. They had a proper line set up. They had accommodations for people that were having heat exhaustion. But when we got into the venue, there was screwy things, like there was only 2 concession stands open out of 15 that there were there, but only 2 of them were open, and then they all closed an hour before Trump was done speaking. I mean, there was things like that. They had only 1 set of bathrooms open. I mean, we rented your venue and you're not going to open all the bathrooms? I mean, come on, man. So this was a Trump rally in a hostile area, and just because he's having a rally there doesn't mean everybody there is MAGA, okay? There's liberals that own some of these venues. Some of these towns are liberal, and they don't want Trump to be there, but there's nothing they can do about him being there if he rents the venue, And I think that's kind of what's going on, especially with this Coachella place out in California, man. So there is one video that I can kind of direct you to by a YouTuber named Doha the Explorer. It's like an Indian dude who showed up with a live stream going, and he's the only live streamer I saw that was filming what occurred after the Coachella rally in California. That's Doha the Explorer, D-O-H-A, the Explorer. He's got a YouTube channel, and for some reason, this guy who I never heard of just pops up in my feed first thing in the morning before I start even looking at videos. So YouTube was pushing this guy's video, okay? I didn't even look up anything about Coachella this morning, but all of a sudden this guy's video is in my feed or recommended list. And he's got some bad information on Trump, man. He was pissed off at Trump by the end of his video, even though he was standing in line with all the people that were waiting for buses to leave. Everybody had color-coded bracelets. People were fainting from the heat. The dust. You just watch the dust, and if you find that video that was blowing around. So people were waiting up to 3 hours after the rally for a bus, and some of the people just walked 6 miles, 5 miles up to their parking lot, It was a crazy scenario out there. And I think a lot of it is meant to draw attention to the work of this Ven Miller guy, okay? Because he has done a lot of work about government corruption, and particularly the Bundy Ranch scenario. And that's what's going to happen is after the election, man, the work begins, okay? So here's how the work begins. Ivan Raiklin is calling himself the Secretary of Retribution. There was some good stuff this weekend at an event called the Rods of Iron Rally that News to Share on YouTube filmed for us. General Flynn was one of the speakers there. Ivan Raiklin was one of the speakers there. And Tom Homan, the ex-director of ICE, was there. And these are all great right-wing speakers, definitely part of Trump's inner circle then and now. Always were with Trump, always are still with Trump. So these are insiders, man. These aren't some of the scumbags that Trump accidentally hired during his first time that he was elected, man. Okay, I did see some Ammon Bundy stuff there. Thank you, Annette. Ammon Bundy is one of the Bundy kids. And yeah, I'm seeing some stuff. I just didn't have time to watch it, man. I mean, there's so much going on. So I know something's coming out about the corruption that happened during that Ammon Bundy raid that the government did on that ranch and the takeover of the wildlife center in Oregon and stuff. There's a lot of stuff that happened with that Ammon Bundy thing, man. Yeah, I do believe Elon Musk will be part of the thing. And I think Elon Musk is the only guy that can possibly cure Trump derangement syndrome. I mean, he's talking about that mind chip thing that he's developing, the Neuralink. And Elon is one of them outspoken critics of AI and robotics and stuff. Yet he is on the cutting edge of developing all that stuff. But his message is, don't let this stuff fall into the hands of bad people. So I think, I seriously think Elon is going to end up curing Trump derangement syndrome, because we know something's wrong with these people. These are normally coherent, intelligent people who just have this thing in their head where they hate Trump for no reason. They just call him a racist, a misogynist, and they have no facts. They got no facts, man. And it's a crazy thing to watch. It really is. So it is somewhat of a mind virus that these people are going. I think it has to do with, things like shots you can get and the fluoride in the water and all that, and the poison food and things like that. All right, Tammy Green's got the link for the Ammon Bundy last night on YouTube. All right, hopefully I get some time to sit down and watch that tonight. But there's a Trump rally, 7:30 in Freedom Corner. I can't stay up all night watching this stuff. I know who I'm voting for, but I got to stay tuned to what Trump's putting out there. Okay, another thing. Trump just gave a speech in Aurora, Colorado, which is where this whole Venezuelan gang thing is happening. And one of the things that, that Venezuelan thing started happening over a year ago, okay? And the police force says, well, we responded and we're helping with it, but it's still going on. So they're permitting it, basically. And Trump says he's going to name the deportation process Operation Aurora in honor of Aurora. But just know that mainstream media did not report on this for, 11 months before we finally heard about it. So another thing is that we have live streamers now, and we're learning how to get the news out. It would have been cool if we had live streamers there, that were onto that story before it became national news and stuff. But, and eventually it did. Eventually it did come out. But mainstream media is asleep at the wheel. They are purposely not reporting relevant information that we need to know in order to have an intelligent vote. We need information to vote, basically. We need to know who's on the Epstein client list. We need to know what corruption Joe Biden was involved in. But the FBI just runs a mop-up operation on every single one of these operations, and they're basically the cover-up crew, man. But yeah, MSM didn't report on that for a whole year. To Trump last night at the town hall. Yeah, I only saw the beginning of it. And Jamie Crow was in there. So was Soup Mama. But Jamie Crow was like front row center when Trump walked in there, man. That was really cool. And then I flipped over to Freedom Corner. So I got to go back and watch that still. Because I heard, it turned into like just listening to music with him and Kristi Noem. Kristi Noem, the governor of South Dakota, was the moderator of that town hall. And she looked like she was doing a great job doing that. So, all right, Tammy Green says, if you missed it, watch it. It's epic. All right. How you, Cindy, Patricia? Hi, Allie. How is everyone doing? Jane Febo, good to see you. Thanks for joining me, Patriots. So yeah, this Trump team is forming, man, and it's quite a team. It's really an awesome team. We got people like General Flynn, Tom Homan, and then there's other people like Kristi Noem. They're just not out there like Tulsi Gabbard and RFK and Elon are, but there is quite a team forming around Trump. Trump is the nucleus of this awesome all-star team. So we got the all-star team coming up to bat with bases loaded at the bottom of the ninth. I think so. I think we're looking pretty here. Hiya, Cleo. And what else? Okay, Bill Clinton. The words that come out of these guys' mouths sometimes. Bill Clinton's down in Georgia yesterday at some type of a Kamali promotion rally. And the words that I saw come out of his mouth yesterday was, we need these migrants here in this country because we need more babies. And he's saying like, oh, the birth rate's down and we need more children. We need to have people to replace the people that are going to die because we need more kids. We need more children. That's why we need to facilitate migrants coming into this country, more and more and more migrants beyond the normal amount, right? But on the other side, out the other side of Bill Clinton's mouth, he wants to have the federal government make an abortion law that says anybody can go get an abortion. So over the past 50 years, we have slaughtered 61 million babies due to abortion. And then that number of 61 million babies that are gone, they're not here, they don't have life. The higher percentage, like black people are 20 or less percent of the population of this country, yet a really high proportion of those abortions were black people. And this is why we just look at them and wonder, how can they continue to vote Democrat when the Democrats facilitate the very slaughter of their children due to, however they can get them to not get born, basically. It's horrible, and that's where you start entering the demonic side of this party, where they are facilitating the murder of children. They literally had an abortion clinic outside of the DNC this year, literally, and bragged about it. It's demonic in nature, and it is sickening. And the more people that we can wake up to this, the better, and then we can conquer it. But on November 6th, that's when the retribution starts, man. And that's when we're going to have to stay engaged. We're going to have to continue to be busy. And a lot of us are going to have to step up and take positions, okay? We got to start Patriot groups. We got to learn how to continue to bring people together, how to moderate discussions and plot out strategies so that we can defeat this enemy. This enemy is great. This enemy has been spent 5,000 years ascending to power to get to this point in time right now. It's in the scriptures. It's prophesied. There will be a day when everybody is deceived, okay? And I think we are in that time right now. But we have a chance at God helping us bust out of this so that there can be a great harvest for the Lord right now, a great harvest of repentant sinners that come to the knowledge of Jesus Christ as Lord and turn their life around and begin a new life in Christ. That's the main thing right there. That's the main thing right there. Yeah, I hope that all the people around Trump are loyal too, Jerry. And that was a problem during his first presidency. He had a lot of backstabbers surrounding him. Trump was a greenhorn. We got to admit it. He wasn't a politician, and the political game is rigged. So rigged. And that's what happens to a lot of the people we elect. They're great. You know, Mr. Smith goes to D.C., and then he goes to have a drink at a bar, and next thing you know, he's got hookers and a photographer. You know, I mean, it happens. It happened a lot. P. Diddy, Epstein, Hugh Hefner, the D.C. brothel busts. There was more than one of them. There's been many of those, man. The D.C. Madam from 5 years ago. I mean, it's been out there all the time. And we just kind of ignored it as it goes. Well, okay. And then they come in, they mop up the operation. They actually got an account in Congress that pays off these settlements. So we all learned how that works through Trump's court case with E. Jean Carroll. Okay, we all learned how it isn't just an accusation in this, but that you can actually pay somebody to shut up and not bring charges and not give interviews with magazines. We didn't know this before Trump went through that whole ordeal, but that was exposed to more people, okay? How that whole system of payoffs works amongst these super wealthy people and our politicians, but they're operating on our tax dime. They got millions of dollars paid out to keep people quiet. And it's happened over and over and over again. That information is out there. It's known. $15 million has been paid out of that account, from the last I heard. David Valentine's trial is the 18th of October. It's coming up, and we're praying for David, man. We're praying hard for David. And they're still arresting the J6ers. I mean, the whole J6er thing is still going on. That's why I think we still got to stay plugged in. That's why I'm still going to stay plugged into that for sure. And then one more thing, J.D. Vance was on TV. That knucklehead Martha from PBS was interviewing him and trying to get J.D. to admit that this Venezuelan gang thing in Aurora, Colorado, isn't that much. It's just a couple of apartment complexes, you know. It's not a big deal. And then JD just got a chance to talk, and he said, Martha, do you hear yourself, okay? And that statement right there, do you hear yourself? I think we can pretty much throw back at anybody that's got the Trump derangement syndrome, man. When they say Trump is a racist, you know, do you hear yourself? Do you hear what you're saying? You have no facts. You're just throwing it out there. And do you hear yourself? Martha, do you hear yourself? You're just saying that it's basically okay that just a couple of apartment complexes were taken over by illegal immigrants whose first act as Americans was to break the law, to come here, you know, as illegal immigrants. And I think J.D. Vance is hitting it. He's hitting triples right now. I mean, he's doing very well when put with all these questions that are meant to trip up normal people. Questions that Kamala just wouldn't even be able to answer whatsoever. Yeah, that gang is savage, man. And then they took over apartment complexes. So there's people that own buildings there that know this is happening in their building, and they're letting it happen? I mean, let's put some pressure on these people. Or are these people not even in America that own these buildings? I mean, that's why mainstream media has totally dropped the ball on this. There has been no investigation by journalists into this thing. So we should know who owns them buildings. We should be able to make a phone call to that guy and say, hey, do you know you got illegals in your building? But who knows? Maybe that guy's sitting over in Pakistan, and all of this is his American real estate holdings, you know? Smalley, what's up, small water guy? I hear myself, and I always get offended. That's a good one, dude. That's a good one. So Smalley, our buddy Possum, is down in North Carolina. Let me show you guys our friend Possum here. Possum's my friend who just started up a YouTube channel. And he's having fun with it. He's going through all the problems that I went through when I first started up. This is our buddy Possum, man. He was an awesome patriot. We were camp buddies in the People's Convoy, and he was there the whole time, man. So Possum went home to his place, and I haven't seen him. Well, he did know. Possum did come to Freedom Corner for a night or two a while back. It was really good to see him. But Possum decided to load up some water and head down to North Carolina just because he could. You know, his job was done for the summer. And this is him trying to show us how much erosion just happened along these roads. A lot of these roads are built next to creeks. And he said it was really hard to film it because he's driving past them and you can't exactly stop right there and film it because, you know, other people will get mad you're blocking the way and stuff. So finally today he got a really good picture of exactly how much erosion. So he's like, what, 5.5 feet tall? That's a 5-foot deep ditch that didn't used to be there next to that road, man. Yeah, Chilled, we're going to have to get some accountability from our judges. I don't know exactly what they're going to do. They didn't handle it well last time, though. That's for sure. That whole you don't have standing thing was ridiculous, man. All right, I'm going to just throw a couple memes in here while I got them, man. This is our buddy Sons of Liberty from the MAGA Warriors out in Pittsburgh area, turning Pennsylvania red. Make it happen, Patriots. Make patriotism legal again. I love these guys out there doing these awesome flag waves all the time. And then this picture I put for the thumbnail of this video, but man, this picture is hilarious. Oh, Grandma, come on. These are haters right here. You can tell by that look. All right, Patricia Kenai says, Glory B is leaving for Tennessee. Glory B put together a whole bunch of water purification kits that she is running down to Tennessee right now. Awesome. I heard about the drones at our military bases, but I haven't seen like verification of that story yet, Cleo. I'm waiting on that story. What I did hear about was FEMA walked off the job down there in North Carolina because somebody threatened them. So FEMA stopped operations for an entire day, okay, while, there's still people that they have not found yet. They stopped operations for an entire day while they figured out something about this threat. So I'm still waiting to hear information about the threat. Apparently they arrested some guy. But for one man to be able to take down all the FEMA operations down in North Carolina is ridiculous. Is ridiculous. And here's what we gotta be, Patriots. Here is what we gotta be. The most dangerous person in the world is the person who isn't afraid of public opinion, man. And that's how I feel like down at Freedom Corner, man. We are just pointing it out to everybody that they're wrong. It's crazy. It is crazy. I got another one here. Isn't it a little odd for a party to push the idea of the first woman president when they can't even define what a woman is? It's insanity. It's insanity. How you, Tammy Monday? Good to see you. All right, what else do I got here to show you? There's a couple more. Don't let the kids read this one. Government says, just give us your money, your guns, your privacy, your children, and your ability to make your own medical decisions, and everything will be okay. There's my answer to that. Matt Taibbi said it best at that rally in D.C. I won't repeat it, but it was a great... Allie Waters, what's the most dangerous words you'll ever hear? I'm from the government and I'm here to help. That was a great Ronald Reagan line. All right, I got a video here. I'm just going to close out my stream with this video. And I'll leave the chat going. I'll probably end it unless I see something cool in chat to talk about afterwards. But in the meantime, this is Jericho, over and out.
Memory stands as an enduring testament to the daring spirit that built our great civilization. And as long as I have anything to say about this, and I hope that's going to be a long time, it will always...
Oh no, no sound? All right, that didn't go as planned. Let's try this again. This is we're comparing what Trump says to what Kamala says.
anything to say about this, and I hope that's going to be a long time. It will always be Columbus Day.
As we celebrate Indigenous Peoples Day, as we speak truth about our nation's history. Since 1934, every October, the United States has recognized the voyage of the European explorers who first landed on the shores of the Americas. But that is not the whole story. That has never been the whole story. Those explorers ushered in a wave of devastation for tribal nations, perpetrating violence, stealing land, and spreading disease. We must not shy away from this shameful past, and we must shed light on it and do everything we can to address the impact of the past on Native communities today.
We've got to reach those ridiculous, crazy black men that did vote.
Vote wisely, America. Vote wisely. This is Jericho, over and out.